Solar and wind. They're kind of like the superheroes of renewable energy. But even superheroes have a weakness. Today, we're going to look at how teaming them up creates a solution that's pretty close to perfect. It's a fair question, right? We've all thought it. You see solar panels everywhere, but what actually happens when the lights go out? I mean, when the sun goes down? This really gets to the heart of the single biggest challenge for renewable energy. Look, solar power is fantastic. It's clean, it's getting cheaper all the time, but it's got one super obvious flaw. When the sun sets, the power just stops. No sun, no juice. It's as simple as that. And then you've got wind power, an absolute workhorse when it's going, but it's unpredictable. The wind doesn't exactly check our schedules, It just does its own thing. So you're left with two amazing power sources, but they're both kind of unreliable on their own. So what happens if you combine them? And that is where things get really, really cool. Instead of focusing on their weaknesses, we can smash their strengths together and create what is basically a renewable energy dream team. Okay, so the official kind of technical term for this is a hybrid energy system. But really, that's just a fancy way of saying you're using more than one type of power source to make electricity. It's a simple idea, but believe me, it is a total game changer. At its heart, the idea is this simple. You just picture it. Rows of solar panels soaking up the sun, right next to towering wind turbines spinning in the breeze, all feeding into the same system. It proves that old saying, two heads are better than one. So how does this magic actually work? Well, it really all comes down to timing. It's about how these two very different power sources naturally balance each other out. This is the really clever part. Think about it. Solar, of course, does all its heavy lifting during the day, but that's often when the wind is at its calmest. Then, as the sun goes down and the solar panels clock out for the night, the wind tends to pick up. And you often see the same pattern with the seasons. Way more sun in the summer and a whole lot more wind in the winter. It's like they're perfect dance partners. They just naturally fill in each other's gaps. So, how is all of this managed? Well, that comes down to the brains of the operation. There's a control unit that's basically a traffic cop for electrons. It sees all the power coming in from the sun and the wind, and it decides exactly where it needs to go. Straight to the grid for us to use right now, or maybe into a battery to save for later. This whole setup is what ensures a nice, smooth, steady flow of power, no matter what time it is. And this isn't just some cool theory stuck in a lab somewhere. This has huge, real-world applications that are already powering our future. For places that are completely off the main power grid, like remote islands, these systems are an absolute lifeline. But for you and me, it means something massive. A much more stable grid, less need to burn fossil fuels, and a much, much faster path to a 100% renewable future.
But this technology isn't just for huge power plants. Actually, it might be showing up a lot closer to home than you think.
Imagine pulling your electric car into a charging station. And that station is powered by its own little hybrid system, a small wind turbine and some solar panels, working together right there on the spot. That's how this tech can get woven directly into our daily lives, making our own communities cleaner. So if you remember just one single thing from all of this, please make it this. The biggest argument against renewables has always been that they're unreliable, right? That they're intermittent. But by pairing solar and wind together, we take their biggest weakness and we turn it into their greatest strength. We get clean power that's also reliable 24/7. So there you have it. That's how two kind of flaky power sources can team up to create one super reliable system. If you love getting simple breakdowns for big, complex energy topics just like this one, then you should definitely subscribe to Energy Simply Explained. We have so much more to explore together. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.